Well, I know that.
It's on my watch.
Guess it's something that's the other ones I'm trying to say.
It is nothing. You can
I enjoyed.
watch them all, it'll be nice. You see it or no?
Mike, did you see we got a meeting tonight?
Yeah.
Noticed somebody turned our direction.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
You don't start. Yeah.
First thing we need to do is approve the agenda.
So moved.
Sorry. Been moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Public comments. Go ahead.
I've got a couple things. The first one's the fun news, and it has to do with the use of the courthouse lawn. So back in January, the thought came up, is anybody in Tama County doing anything for celebrating the 250th birthday of our country or Flag Day? Eventually I contacted Jake Buchanan. I said, you've been around the county now. Have you talked to anybody? Do you know anything that's happening? And I'm going to be very clear. He didn't say, I don't know that anything's happening. He said, I haven't heard. So then I had conversations with, well, we can't do this unless we have a sound system. So I talked to Kathy Campbell at Cat Tracks. She was like, oh my gosh, yes, I'm all in if we're going to do something. She contacted Catherine Olendick. Catherine Olendick would talk with Jake Buchanan because we would need some center point of communication to get the information out. Found out we have a community band. Community band will play. People are just really stepping on board to take part. And what it would look like is using the bandstand, June 14th, for 2 hours. It would be a birthday party and cake and ice cream afterwards. So a hour-long program with some music, some speakers. I mean, right now, Al Shafah has agreed to talk about our land. And after that, you could sing, Oh Beautiful for America the Beautiful. I mean, so just patriotic songs, just a celebration of our country. Then I have some free activities, which could be children's coloring pages at libraries, which could be displayed that day. And this one I really love, flags around over Tama County where people could enter, and coming into Memorial Day weekend could send in pictures of flags that they've seen around the county. Not necessarily as a contest, but just to celebrate. And what does that mean to them when they take that picture of that flag? Getting our veterans involved to honor the flag and talk about what it means to them. So one, can we use the courthouse lawn? And as for people, who knows, but the more people who get involved in participating in the program, the more people that show up. And second, I just hope you would be as excited about this as the people I've been talking to are.
How do you decide on that date?
Like that.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I kind of see why don't they do it in conjunction with the Stoplight Festival? It's in July already.
Okay. I'm not backtracking through all of the conversations I've had.
Just asking a question, Burley.
What time would it be? Is there time?
2 to 4 in the afternoon, it's a Sunday. And when we were talking with Catherine Olendick, well, oh, and I will say, no campaign speeches, no elected political people. We want this as neutral as possible. This is a chance for us to come together and celebrate together. Possibly, I haven't asked him yet, Jim Rohn, to do an introduction, his bandstand, one of the older people in the community.
Say that was something again.
What time? Approximately 2 to 4, like an hour-long program, probably some Revolutionary War music beforehand, recorded. The community band would play as long as they could during the cake and ice cream time.
Do we need to have a motion for that?
We'd have to put it on the agenda, but I've talked to Brent Herron last week. We're trying to figure out a policy for the courthouse lawn because our attorney, the city attorney from Toledo and Brent were working together to try to get an understanding of what the old agreement meant. Because the city of Toledo owns the bandstand and then we own the courthouse lawn. So his suggestion is that we would both sign off on it for any event, because if they're using the bandstand, they would be using the courthouse lawn. So.
And we have talked, or Catherine did talk to the city already, so. Very good. So my second comment, this is hard. This is very hard because I've had this conversation with Mike many times. And so I've been on the Council on Aging for many years and it has changed significantly since when I started. There were so many more activities for senior citizens. So now we're down to just a remnant, just a shadow of what the Council on Aging is. And the only reason I'm bringing up is you give the Council on Aging money. And I think you should know this. And then what you do from there is completely up to you. So there are bylaws for the Council on Aging. And I just brought a couple of copies. I can get one for everybody. We follow almost none of it. We haven't had elections in, I don't know how many years. We don't get new members. We don't cover the whole county. So, and none of this is anybody's fault. It's COVID. It's just so many things that have happened. But I really feel like the people you as a county give money to should be an identified group, a reason for gathering, specific goals. I mean, we don't talk to hardly any I3A anymore, Northeast Iowa Area Agency on Aging. So I would just be careful. Lori Johnson knows the most about senior citizens. And she resigned from our council, but now
She's back.
well, now she's back, so it's kind of, I don't know. I don't know why you would give us money. I think you need to relook at the group and identify a specific group that represents the whole county and the
Well,
process.
Can I speak? I'm the president of the Tama County Council on Aging and I came here
So
today.
that's just on the agenda as a separate topic, when we get to it.
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean,
This is just public comments, so, and you
Okay.
Fair
can
enough.
speak during that time, because
Well,
you're still on
you're
their
bringing up business that I came here to attend to, actually.
Are you still on their board? Person?
Yes, I am.
Okay, well, you have a chance to speak during that, but if you can keep speaking this.
No,
member of the public,
that's just it. I just feel, I feel very concerned when we function as an agency that really isn't what we were set out to be. And then we get money. I think we need to be honest about what's happening.
Okay. Anybody else got any public comments? Or on any other topic? I didn't mean to cut you off, if you
No,
have something else on a different topic. 63 still closed.
Yeah, we live on K Avenue too, not far.
Yeah, it's messy this morning.
Good news is while I was off, I ran into a roundabout and, I made it out alive.
What did you do? You what?
I had to go through a roundabout and I made it out alive. Out into the world.
Marty pants.
Did it take you 20 minutes or?
I just watched the locals and
Just watch the locals.
followed their, we'll close public comments and we'll move on to regular minutes from 5/11 of 26.
So moved.
I'll second.
Been moved and seconded to approve those minutes. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Anything from the engineer's office that you have?
Yes, review. Started touching up chloride on K Avenue. They made it do we got a tank that has kind of a sprayer on the back, and we use some of our chloride to help keep those active. So we're trying to do the best we can with the dust. Hauled rock from the windmill stockpile and did Anna Avenue from 245th to 63. So that has kind of started. And then I'm not sure, I'm gonna meet with them today and see how check off is gonna work on that and get a plan there. We started a regrade on F Avenue north of the casino, which last time we went by there, that's pretty tough shape. So they're gonna continue to work on that all this week and try and get that done, so hopefully that'll work. And then, Taylor's back from his military leave today, I think it's his first day back, so I'm gonna get a little meeting with them guys probably after this to see where everybody's at, get an update. My main concern's hauling that windmill rock, see, make sure where we're doing with that.
Yeah, some of it was pretty dirty.
Was it?
Yeah, I got some really big stuff out there and it wasn't just one or two a mile. It was
Yeah.
quite a bit. And Heather and I had met with Nick and Shane up to L Avenue the other day and he thought maybe that might be more of the stuff right around the turbines.
Probably.
And he said we probably shouldn't fight over that. They can maybe keep that.
Yeah, see, I remember like quite a few years ago in Marshall County when they did some, I hauled some, I mean, this has been probably 10 years ago. Or more, and it was all mixed, it was like 1x5 to line,
Yeah.
you know, it was just
That's what Mike.
whatever they used, and then they just put it on a pile, you know?
Yeah. So yeah, I can kind of see some concerns. They're dumping it and then it's mostly mud and just like lime. I mean, I don't know eventually if it's gonna have a nice base, but it's like if it was Montour rock from the beginning, then it got crushed. And then there's, like he said, it's not even just the rock. People on N Avenue and others, there's like the paper, the black stuff that holds back the runoff. That's in there, but there's also fence posts. Like there's a lot of, like somebody got a flat tire on N Avenue, like so. I think as a board, we need to figure out what to do because, you know, is there bad stuff and good stuff? Is it all bad? Like, we're trying to save money to put this down, but if it's gonna be, you know, or do we have a magnet that's better than just whatever is on their, you know, motor graders? We gotta get something figured out because it's a lot, you know, it's.
What this,
This was recently, this weekend, I've seen, at least on N Avenue, you know, there's people that go walk it and like, there's a flat tire, so I'd say it's just kind of presenting itself over the weekend here worse. I'd say last week there was maybe one, but yeah, we gotta figure out what to do. Cause there's no sense putting down stuff that's gonna pop people's tires or
yeah,
cause issues, you know? So is there good stuff is what we need to figure out.
is everybody grinds it up or?
Not on our part, but I mean, and Nick said that the stuff that they made they widened the turns and.
Yeah.
The white corners.
Widen corners and what they made the approaches out of, that's gonna be your good
Should be
stuff.
better.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he
that's a
said,
lot of that.
yeah, there's a lot of that. They definitely can use that. He just saw a lot of that crap came from around more the, around
Yeah.
the turbine base, you
So
know.
that's what they gave us in a pile, that stockpile that was supposed to.
Not supposed to be all of it. I don't know how much though, yeah, that's gonna be the problem.
Well, we'll have to figure it out.
automation either, you know, whatever.
Well, if that's the case, that ain't gonna work, and that's not what the agreement's supposed to be for, so.
We need to verify that, and then we need to figure out, like, the road use plan's still in there, so even if we're putting this down to get by for the summer, you know, before we sign off on it, it still needs to be back to good condition, so we're not just gonna put down the junk stuff and then, oh, it's good, you know, like, it needs to be right by the time this is done, so.
Yeah.
So, yeah, something to think about, but yeah, let's touch base now that we're starting to find debris, what can we do? Try to backtrack, hopefully they're keeping good maps of where they're all putting it, you know, and checking it to make sure it's not just mud or making it worse, cause then we're just gonna get more complaints, you know, so. Yep,
And then on L Avenue, probably should maybe get it on the agenda to vote on, what we exactly wanna do to it. I think Nick had a very good theory on it. I don't think we probably, and we talked quite an hour or so out there.
Yeah.
I think we kind of decided, and I hope can inform you guys that we probably shouldn't go back to gravel. I mean, we've invested enough money in that road. And this is what Nick was saying, that we've invested enough money in that road to keep it up. And it's to the point now where, he thought around $300,000 to, I don't know for sure, I guess there was a Manats deal. But $300,000 to redo it. And we obviously don't have that money right for this summer. So he thought we could core out with our own employees, our own equipment, core out the two bad spots. There's two really bad spots. I suppose where there's some sort of, frost boil or something, it just got soft and it crumbled. And kind of Band-Aid it, and then he said we really should think about maintaining it every 3 to 5 years. Spend that 280,000 to reseal it. And our, yeah, our oil and help me. Durapatcher has, I mean, they're getting the smaller holes, the springtime chunk, and just holes where they're just nice. They're just holes, I mean, they don't crush out, you know, and the Durapatcher's done a nice job keeping up on those, so,
That seals it up better than cold mix.
yeah, exactly. Cold mix doesn't stay in there very well, and I guess long story short, I think we just need to decide on a date to meet with them, the people around there, and he said, honestly, the last decision would be theirs. I mean, if you guys wanna maintain this, and I mean, the other one's paying the taxes on it, you know, for the most part. He said they can get a list of people 2 miles radius of it. And Chris could send out letters, and we just need to find a date and a place to have a little town hall meeting.
Yep.
And Nick said as long as it's the right night, he would show up and kind of lead it. And give his theory, and which obviously he would be a lot more up on it than either one of us or any of us, you know, but because he has what he's done in Iowa County. And what he said just made a lot of sense. I mean, as far as our investments into it and that type of thing.
Yeah, I think he has some type of seal coat going to that Cannon Lake, I think.
Yeah,
So he probably got a pretty good idea what's going on.
yeah, he seemed really, I mean, he was focused on, I mean, he knew, and what he said really made a lot of sense.
it was like 2012 when it went in, so it's actually, we've gotten our money's worth, it's lasted.
Well,
Not much. No,
Just
that shocked me.
Pretty much, yeah.
That shocked me, that it was that old.
that held up a lot better than I thought.
Yeah, it did.
Cause ultimately the two options is, if we reseal it, you know, and we leave it as it is, we'll have to embargo it every spring for like 2 to 3 months, so those frost boils don't continue, cause he's like, why put the money in and the 250,000 and it gets ruined, that's a way to, you know, you don't wanna be the one that does that, right? You wanna take care of the road, so it's either we do that and it's gonna be embargoed in the spring for the little bit, or we go back to gravel and it's not embargoed. So that's kind of like you said with the meeting, what does the people want, you know, and obviously there's the ones within 2 miles, but then, you know, we've had some phone calls from other people, you know, farmers that use it, elevators, you know, different businesses too, so, so yeah, that's kind of where it's at. I mean, like you said, the coring, that's only our employees and our equipment, so it's not gonna cost anything. There was something we could put underneath if we decide to, that would be 20 or 30,000, but we wouldn't have to. But otherwise, the cost is just our employees to go do it. So, and it would be like the end of summer, so, maybe you guys prefer, I mean, we can, put on the agenda. It'd just be, do we want them to at least core it for now? And then we can see, you know, another action can be made later. Do we wanna reseal it then, you know?
Should we have that meeting first with everybody around it?
Yeah, that'd probably be good.
Probably be the better way.
Yeah, 'cause it's not till the end of summer anyway, so, and we wanna try to get this meeting here in the next week or two. I know one farmer said we could try like even the Dinsdale County Shop, would that be a good area to do it? And like he said, coffee might be better, cause then everybody will move on with their day, it won't just be like a all night thing, cause they're busy, you know, they're all farming, not all, but quite a few farmers too, so. I think we could do it too without Nick if we need to, but yeah, whatever we think there, sometime in the next week or two, we should get that scheduled.
When you say L Avenue, are you talking about right here or farther north? or-
North,
Up north,
Dinsdale.
north of
Thank you,
Dinsdale, yeah.
okay.
Was there a local place up there we could have a meeting?
Way back would be, is there a place in Lincoln?
And that's,
And that's,
Or there's the elevator in Dinsdale or,
Get to keep the money local up there, get a coffee and what have you,
yeah,
have a good meeting. Rather than having them negotiate 63 to get down to the shop.
yeah.
well, I was meaning the Dinsdale shop.
Oh, okay.
The Dinsdale one would be right there.
I thought that was pretty small though.
I don't know.
Not the nicest, but yeah.
It's not, okay.
Yeah, but we use the ambulance there in Lincoln for elections and stuff, so that'd be a good place to hold it. And we have a coffee pot in that we could
Do it.
get coffee.
Okay.
We having to get hold of Matt.
Yeah,
Did he?
yeah, that was his idea, was just somewhere local like that for coffee. You know, that was my mind, like, guys are busy, just do a coffee in the morning
Yeah.
at 7:30 or something and just pick what day, so that way they can plan for it. Most of them are getting
Good
close to
rainy
done planting. Yeah, we're wet right now,
Yeah.
but, so,
Will you be bringing this back to agenda so that we have an idea, your meeting time?
I guess, is everybody planning to go, or do we just want a couple people? Like, what's everybody's plans? I mean,
But it's up in you guys' area.
yeah, I mean, always we can just
Yeah.
schedule it if you guys are good with that.
And
And,
then come back and brief us.
mhm.
Yeah, well, if I can make it, I'll make it. If
Yeah.
not, we'll do that. That'd probably be the easiest.
Yep.
Around their schedules.
Yeah, see what he thinks.
Yep, cause there's a lot of passionate people in that area that just wanna make it better.
There's a lot of people use that road. I've got a lot of
There is.
emails on it.
Yeah, and the other option too
I
is,
mean, when I used to go Rhinebeck, I used it all the time too.
Yeah.
yeah, for sure. Our representatives also give money out too, and so it's closed right now, but like with Hinson, another option is to try to get some money from that. Like Iowa County's gotten over $2 million from that. I mean, that's a pretty cool deal, and the farm to market roads are usually the big ones, or we could use farm to market,
We should be able to
money.
use money on that.
Yeah, we just already closed our 5-year plan and all of our items we've checked off, so that's why it would be a next year thing for resealing.
Nick said one there that blew my mind was, it's approximately $1 million to do a mile of blacktop now.
Yeah.
So when you're going down highway construction somewhere and you see a mile of blacktop, it's $1 million.
And it's like, what, 2.5, 3 miles up there?
It's 3 miles. So I mean, if we could get a Hinson deal, it comes into, is it Grundy County there or Blackhawk County just north of us there? Grundy County, it's been paved for years.
Mhm.
So that's what I think when we decided to do it, we thought, hey, let's connect to that. So, I mean, if we could get that kind of money and maybe do that someday, it'd be a great deal.
Yeah, I asked Nick if, Carly and Chris could keep an eye on, you know, when that community foundation thing becomes available. So he said they could do that, so. So yeah, I don't know if there's necessarily action, as long as you guys, I mean, voice your concerns if you have any, otherwise we'll just have that meeting first and then we'll bring it back and discuss if we want to accord or not.
No,
Yep.
We have the pre-construction agreement.
You still interviewing engineers?
What's that?
Are you still interviewing engineers?
Interview.
Engineer,
Engineers? No, we have an offer and an acceptance.
what's that?
We have an offer out that's been accepted for a new engineer. We're still partnering with Iowa County until that person starts.
Harold, did you miss that application deadline?
I told you to get it in.
Yeah.
I don't have that in my packet.
For the rumble strips. North of 30 on T47. Two of them.
Hey, I have that in my packet.
I was looking at the wrong one. Mine was.
I was looking for like DOT
$77,000.
paper.
I thought, wait, I'm with those mumble strips now?
Yeah,
Yep, it's the updated cost, so,
it says $700 each.
Yep.
Total of 1,400.
looks like the right correction to fix it to what we wanted.
Just need a motion of second to approve that.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it. So moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye. To, okay, now Mike. Council on aging regarding needs and payments.
All right, hey, good morning. I've been president of the Tama County Council on Aging for about 18 years. I've been a member for about 20. Ever since Seth suckered me into joining, and it reins to me. So in the past, we had a clear directive, and we had activities, we had a senior center, and all that kind of went away. After COVID, people stopped going to the senior center, and the I3A stopped supporting it. We were reimbursing them for their grant. Some money from the county. Right now, we have a new plan, that I'm kind of excited about, and some other members of the board are too. And I talked with you about that here a few months ago. And these are the forms that we've kind of developed. Here, copy two. And I need your help today.
Thank
We need to identify from your constituents. No.
No, it's three different. Oh,
Thank you.
Exactly what the need is in the county. So one of the things that Berlin said, and by the way, I recruited Berlin for the board a few years back. We need your help. Try to identify some of these entities in your part of the county. Do things to enrich the lives of seniors of Tama County. So if you know of like food pantries or some sort of activities that would warrant us supporting them, if you could get back to me on that or through Karen, I'd be most appreciative. Yeah, these are the forms that we use. We've supported about 6 different entities right now. And just sent a second $500 to the Tama meal, the weekly meal, the Thursday meal. Yeah, 5 loaves. Thank you. Forgot the name. So you got some ideas or know some people in your area that are supporting seniors in a good way, let us know. And we'll contact them and try to work out something.
Take that guy in there. I always gotta disturb something.
Can we have Lori send us a list of ones that are already, or you yourself, either one, but who's already in the the play, you know, the 6 or whatever.
Yeah,
That way we know who you're already talking to.
do you have that, like?
I don't know if I do off the top of my, you know, so if you guys could send that.
Yeah, I'll make sure you get it done. I'll be talking to Lori this week. so-
Yeah, we might have talked during budget time, but just a fresh list. And who else you're reaching out to, you know, that you haven't
Okay.
heard back
Yeah,
to.
if you can help us reach out to some others. I mean, you know your constituents better than we do, you know what's going on in your communities and what's happening.
Does it have to be food or does it have to be food related?
So say that again,
Does it have to be food related for supporting the seniors or no?
I'm not understanding your question.
Doesn't have to be food related,
Can be
but it's,
Do we have to?
do we have to
supply
feed
food?
them or do we have to?
Or it can be an activity too. It can be-
Educational resources, programs to persons
Yeah.
serving the elderly in and outside of institutions.
You know,
I saw it says, promote socialization opportunities. Food.
Yeah.
yeah, food would probably be the number one, but it could be activities. Maybe they hold a weekly, bingo game or something like that, and they need monies for prizes or, just trying to be creative and trying to come up with what, we don't know exactly what's out there. There might be some stuff that's been hidden from other county members. And that's kind of our thought. You guys ought to know your community better than we do. If there's something going on that we're not aware of, let us know.
I sit on that board with them and also, I mean, I had that same feeling the last 3 years since I've been here, that it's not I shouldn't say, it wasn't reaching out. I mean, and what we did do, or what was going on, was just Tama Toledo.
Uh-huh.
And it's tough to do it, like we talked about bus rides and all that stuff. It is stuff, still, it's tough to get stuff north. I mean, money wise, people wise, volunteers or whatever. But when Lori brought this up last year, I believe, I thought this was much better. I mean, this was a step forward,
Yeah,
what we're doing.
it's a new direction.
It's a new direction.
And
And
I'm excited about it.
I think COVID and everything, that other direction just wore itself out. The numbers weren't coming to that place.
The dynamics
Yeah,
change.
the dynamics, and people were just weren't, we just weren't, it wasn't doing what it needed to do. But I think this is the new direction. I think I like this. I think I feel better about the money that we're given. That it's going to different people too, and it's going to different areas. I know somebody in Dysart's, I think community garden, I think we have a community garden up there and they give them $500 and I mean, that gets used. I mean, it's a well-used community garden. So, I mean, I like where we're going now. Can it get better? Obviously, but,
I think the last time I was here too, I shared some letters from some of the recipients of the funds that how glowingly they thanked us for the money,
yeah.
And most of those were like neighborhood food pantries, the box things that they put in the alleys and the corners and stuff like that. Those become quite popular. People are having a hard time. Some of our people here in Tama County, especially the elderly, are having a hard time with food.
Yeah.
And this is a good way to expand that.
Guess if I had any recommendation, it would be to have each of the districts have one person sitting on this. When we were doing more activities, people was like, oh God, I don't know if I want to get caught up in all of that. It's just a decision-making process. Like, here's money, your district, let's sit down together and see where it goes. I think people would be more willing.
That's a good point. It would be good to expand our board. If you have somebody in mind for your area that would be good on our board, send them our way. We'd love some new blood. So we'll keep you posted, everything that we're doing and, I've already made a note that we're gonna get the list of who the present recipients are
Yep.
and who the repeat ones
Yeah.
are. Now, I know that Lori just sent out a letter to those 6. To tell them we had more funds available too, so we'll see what comes of that.
Bring back the list of the people, like that Lori
Yeah,
has.
yeah, we can, yeah.
From your next meeting.
And initially Lori did
He's out.
quit the board. We kind of talked her into coming back, so it's brain trust.
Yeah.
You know, she knows what's going on in the county with human resources and with the human need better than any of us, so she's a good person to have on our board. I'm glad we talked her into coming back.
Have you guys helped out the 5 Loaves group?
Say again.
You guys have helped out the 5 Loaves group? They're the most active around here that I see, feeding several people. And what we would give them isn't even putting it into what they're doing, you know,
Oh, gosh, no.
they're doing so much, but that would be,
But at least I think it helps with some equipment.
yeah.
You just spread the 5 loaves to the northern part too. Maybe
Yeah.
they could do one in the south, one in the north, you know? 10 loaves, there you go. Because there's kind of a dinner church in the northern part, but I don't know if it's similar or not, you know?
You guys as a board are too busy to micromanage this stuff, you know, and you've kind of given us that charge of appreciate that we're doing this. And we want to develop this program. We want it to be bigger than it is now and, you know, be a clearinghouse. Reporting directly to the board. But I think it's good that you're giving us this support and we'll do our best to make it work.
We're talking up here, we'll have our economic development guy, Jake, we'll talk to him, he's online now, but just, he's out there pounding the pavement, talking to individuals too, going to the cities, going to the chambers. That'd be, you know, he can help us out there too, because he probably has gotten to know people through business, you know, all of it, like he sees a lot of stuff, so.
He's a good
He'd be a
resource.
good asset to recruit it and,
Age is 55 and you're,
Yes.
if you could raise it, that would make me feel better.
You know, 55 years senior
I'm telling you now.
So I was just gonna make a comment, a little bit silly, but maybe you got the 2 fish up north.
There you go. Fish better.
The 2 fish, 5
there you
loaves. Okay, now you guys got it. But no, I think the seniors need help, but it needs to be done in a way that's truly helpful. So,
I agree.
Yep. Always a need, and definitely right now, when
Yeah.
everything costs so much, whether you buy groceries, you know, gas, everything's just expensive right now, so.
so you guys mentioned there's a garden. Are they harvesting a lot of stuff? Yeah, how much, I mean, I know when I was at the FSA, we had a guy, he had I don't know if he's even doing it anymore, but he had 1 acre of land. And he made all the produce was given away, you know, to certain places. And there was a ton of food. I mean, after everything was given away, he come over to where we were and he had boxes and boxes of stuff
Yeah.
left over. So there, you know, we could probably get some of the farmers to maybe set aside an acre and people would go and plant.
We have public Tama County land. Oh my gosh, that was kind of a thought I had with the comprehensive land use line. What if an acre of that was set aside instead of renting it out to a farmer, it was used for food production?
And I know that FSA's got something about urban, you know, urban, I don't know what they call it, it's urban something. We've got pieces of acreage in the county or the cities that have nothing going on with that for sale signs. So there's opportunities out there on how we can do this. And you can also move it, or not move the land, but move these, or have these things in separate parts of the county. So that
That's our
every agent or every area is served. I mean, it's difficult to get around. You know, we've got 1,100 miles of road in our county. And it's difficult to get around, particularly when you become old and you can't drive anymore, and so forth. Are you guys serving any of the, nursing homes? Are they getting any of this at all? Or are the nursing homes helping?
Rachel Wilkins is on the board, but I don't know that any money's gone.
She works for one of them.
No, we haven't given them money for anything from this fund, no.
Okay, no, I'm asking,
But
so,
the activities director at Acura is on our board.
okay,
And the food pantry does get a lot of food, supplies from people's gardens. They bring in the extra produce and it is well used.
mhm.
Yeah.
Well, my concern about pantries and I know Karen's back there, but there's a lot of stuff that's donated. And if it hits a certain point, it doesn't get out, it gets wasted, so maybe you guys would look into, hey, if there's extra or at a cutoff date and time, cause I know Karen takes stuff around. That's extra, that hasn't been taken from the pantry, so that may be another opportunity to look at. You know, if the pantry's gonna toss it,
Usually by the time we toss it, it's in bad shape.
well, I understand that, but I mean, there's some stuff that probably gets tossed.
Fairway's been real good with donating stuff.
Mhm.
I don't know if Hy-Vee is or not. I'd have to ask that question,
They do.
I know
They do.
I mean, those are options.
Fairway puts a lot of
Yeah.
that stuff out to the community.
Yeah. But yeah, again, that's an option for you guys to consider. Maybe they would give to you, you know, or give to an individual or an agency that would go out and deliver to the shut-ins. I mean, there's a whole lot of, you know, ideas out there that the issue is having an idea and then putting it in action. There's not a lot of action going on that needs to go on. So.
I don't know that we're equipped to develop those programs. We could certainly support them and help spread the word, you know what I mean? I don't know that our board would.
Right, I'm not saying you guys get in your trucks and haul stuff around, but again, you have an idea, then you put a plan in place and have it executed.
That's
So
one of
they
the
can-
reasons why we're here today. You know, if you can direct some people in your town to contact us that have a similar vision to you, that would be great. We'll work with them. Put them on our board.
Karen, did you have something?
Yes, I do. I don't wanna take it to the end of the meeting. I wanna add it too. So Annette and Jody and I, have been doing this for 10 years. Thank you, David, for the kudos. And now it's Karen. First off, it is time consuming extremely. Secondly, it's now expensive because of the gasoline. And we do it, I'm doing it 3 times a week, okay? We always have done it 3 times a week, so that it doesn't go into the dumpster, okay? That's why. And we're doing it out of the church. We have a lot of food programs here on this end of the county. And I have a list of people I can take stuff to. And David is correct, it's usually in pretty good shape when we're, because it's a day-to-day thing. And, the community gardens, it did come up in land use, and I'm a little concerned about insurances with that, because people are just lawsuit crazy happy. Oh my gosh, if you can get a free buck that way, sue somebody. But, so on top of the food, which it seems like most of the people that want it are getting it, at least here in Tama, South Tama. But, the utilities and insurances are huge for people, for senior citizens. That's just another thing. And Mike is so limited now on their hours and availability. And I've known people that have tried to get hold of them, and they're just not available. They're just not there. And somebody brought up vehicle travel. To get their attention, you almost have to go to Marshalltown. Well, that's, I guess another avenue would be transportation. I guess that's gonna become a big need here again too, just for running people around. I know you could say people's buses and all that, but, I don't know. I love doing all this stuff. I just love it, but I can't do anymore. I mean, I'm doing what I can do. Especially because I'm doing it without Annette and Jody now, so I'm just, yeah. But there are other needs too. Utilities is just absolutely huge. Stuff people have to have. They can downsize and get a small phone, a little flip phone, but they still have to pay their electric bills.
Would we be able to put that out on the website? We can be very faithful to the episode.
Thanks for coming in, guys.
Thanks.
Yep, thank you.
I'll keep you posted too.
Thanks, Mike. Discussion possible action on county
Thanks,
farm
Marlene.
planning.
You're up here.
Sure, you got your map yet? Is that there? Okay, you got copies of it? The renter we have now is wanting to get more tiling done because of the wet stuff. They showed up since we've been getting plenty of moisture this year. And Kurt, did the guys get out to hit this spot that has
So
actual water running down the field?
if you're looking at your map, the only water, I went out and I looked at all these. It was already planned, so I didn't drive around it. I just sat up here on top of County Hill and looked across.
Right.
This, up here by the buildings, if you guys look, right here, there's a big standpipe dam there that's blown out. I was gonna have the guys fix that. And that would create, see, if you look at this, you can see the ditch going down it basically from the aerial. So that's gonna cure that, but I did not see the water. Where was that
Yeah,
at?
the water, which is, we have 3 lines of tile in here. There's 2 spots, and I don't know if they missed a spring or we got a backed up tile or what, but there's 2 spots that water's actually running down
Okay,
as they went clear around. And then there was, as you can see up here on
all the ones
this
that,
part of the field, this is another wet spot, and then there was another couple wet spots, other spots. But this, where this dry dam is, it has actually started to canyon the waterway. It's taken the grass out and you've gotten where you can't hardly cross it with the equipment.
not like these other ones that were out on the hillside, those had dried up from when I was there. It's just the nature of the beast and of the water.
Right.
So he planted all through them.
Did it get planted through? I haven't been out
They
there
were,
since.
they were dried up, so he
Okay.
planted all through them. So, and I didn't see this water here,
Yeah.
so I'll go look again.
Okay.
So the only spot he didn't plant was over in this top corner by the buildings, or did he plant everything?
No, he
No,
can
he's got
plant that. It's
He's
just,
got it all. It
it's,
was just leaching out of the hills like any other
Right,
farm that I've been on all spring,
for
so.
sure.
The issue is the dam's busted.
Right, that's why
we get a quite a bit of water.
Well,
from the parking lot.
we're getting all the runoff off the buildings and everything up there.
Yeah.
So it just needs repairing, and that's not a problem.
And we got a happiest last night, at least I did in my place. So, be a good day to see, and we're gonna get more. Sorry.
And I know our renter that's in there now is fine with this season, but he'd like to see it tiled for next season, whether we do that in the fall or the spring, but I don't know where.
Only one year lease for him, though.
Right, so I don't know how you guys want to approach this.
Get an estimate on what that would cost.
No, I haven't, I was waiting for you guys to.
So based on what Kurt said, we could fix the dam internally, correct? So that would stop the major issue right now.
Major erosion, yes,
Right,
so
so
it's
that,
not gonna fix our wet spots that are still in the field yet.
but we don't know if there's what's causing them, whether it's a backup, whether there's a
Or
morning,
like the spring,
Right,
we say spring, you're talking about an underground spring.
RTG.
just more likely just a spring from Valley Hill when it's extremely wet. You know, like you said, now they're all pretty much dried up and he planted through them all. The only one I didn't see was where this water was running behind the old county home, but I'll go take a look at that again.
Okay.
Like you said, I wasn't gonna drive out there because he just.
No, and that's,
Cause I wouldn't
he
look,
was just wanting, he's thinking future.
Yeah.
The way I took it, he wants to rent it again. So. It'll make them, in my eyes, it'll make the ground worth more if they're not planting around wetlands.
Find out how much it costs.
give me the feed footage.
You're asking. All right, I'll get a wheel.
Give me like an estimate of the footage. I can tell you what it's gonna cost.
Okay.
And then that'll determine, let's say what's the estimate or something. I'll just give you guys
idea what's gonna cost, and then we can make a decision on that. Okay. So you're not gonna fix it though, right?
I probably can't.
I
better not.
I just wanna make sure that's.
I would love to, but
I know.
I better not.
Yeah,
Yeah, if we actually would do it, we'd have to send out bids and
Yep,
get from all the.
well, I
at least
understand,
for
I
your
just make sure
Normal
the
process.
people who are watching understand that
Yeah.
we know the.
He's just giving us the rough.
Yeah, I just give you a rough idea where it's off.
Yeah,
And you said it is tiled today and we think some could be backed up or we don't. know
Well,
for
the
sure.
one spot that I talked to Kurt about and I showed you guys, that there was water actually running down through the fields on top of the ground. So the tiles either missed it or it's plugged.
If it's run like that, it's more likely it's probably got plugged in.
so you're gonna get an estimate.
Yeah, I'll get the square footage or not square footage, but I'll get. Take rough footage here already was.
Thanks, sir.
Think we should sell it.
Before we fix it?
It's just gonna start making a lot out of us. No action on that item, discussion and possible action on the Home-Based Iowa application. This was on the agenda for last week. Evidently all of the materials were in now.
So we found, his deed for his property in Garland,
Okay,
his own property.
so now he's met. This is, oh yeah, got all this stuff in there too, that's just. So the first Home-Based Iowa application that we have. And the program won't actually start until July 1st for $1, is that?
You can go ahead and if we approve it today, we can still give him the money for this fiscal year if you want. You have enough in your budget that will cover, even though there wasn't anything in that way. So you have to push to cover it.
Okay, how much we give them?
25.
But this guy doesn't live here in this county?
He does, he bought a property up in Garland.
Oh.
It was added to the fact sheet.
Yeah. Oh, that's.
That's what we're
yeah, okay,
missing
I was
this
rethinking
week,
that, Cause we thought he was still living elsewhere.
But with the new deed and everything, I'll make a motion that we accept.
Okay,
I'll second it.
okay, it's been moved and seconded to approve the application for Home-Based Iowa. I'm sure clerk.
Issue payment to him.
And issue payment to him.
My second still stands.
All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried.
All right. Next one's David.
Moving, oh,
Yeah,
is it the moving the meeting date for Memorial Day holiday?
to the very next day on Tuesday, same time.
Thanks for thinking of that.
Aaron already had his,
Karen already had it.
but good work for second thinking,
What's the date?
The 26th
26th.
Yeah, the 26th.
26.
at 8:30, same time.
I was,
That's what I said.
I just showed up the next Monday.
I know.
Hmm.
See, everyone let us in.
So I move that we change that date to the very next day, the Tuesday at 8:30. Everything normal, just move it one day over on the calendar.
Okay,
Does that make sense?
Second it.
moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
All right.
Opposed, motion carried. Discussion possible action on our update. To Backyard Vines LLC alcohol permit.
I didn't really see any change on there, but the alcoholic
I didn't
beverage
either.
department called and said it needed to be approved, so it's on your agenda to approve it.
It looked, under old ownership, it's blank, so I'm assuming maybe it wasn't in there and now it is or something, so it looks like, so I'll make that motion that we approve it.
I'll second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
All right.
Opposed, motion carries. Discussion possible action on Rusty Ridge Campground liquor license.
I'll make a motion to accept this one.
Okay.
I'll second it.
You go well, sir?
And second.
He was quick at
He's
it.
done it, it's like- Or he's got.
Never been there.
Neither. Like a joining land, I guess.
Well, you guys should do it.
I don't go camping just to camp.
You can go for the entertainment though.
Yeah,
I can't get all their 63s closed. You can go up and see Marvin and take the back road.
That's the problem.
That's the problem.
Everybody has every excuse for every solution I have.
Karen makes it into work.
Yeah.
That's because she can go down the road, she lives on it.
So do we have to vote on it?
Yeah, we got a motion. in a second, yeah.
Yep, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Discussion and possible action regarding copier contracts.
So we're gonna have to move this to next week again. I've got a meeting again today, or a meeting today with one more, or the last of the people who've given bids. So I'll have more information, but an issue's come up, and rather than going into the supervisor reports, I'm tying it to this because it has everything to do with copy contract. Our public health, is looking for fax issues with their current copiers. They own all of their own equipment. So the issue that's come up though is they entered into a contract, which is why I didn't have their faxes put in through our end. They entered into a contract and it's gonna cost them $30,000 to get out of it. They can't use it because they're putting their Medicare. So, and maybe I should take that to supervisor reports, I guess, because we need to talk about contracts. So anyway, so I'll have more on the copier contracts ready for next Monday. I've got to get with Brent. I'm gonna have him look at them anyway. They're the same, basically the same companies we're using, same wording and all that stuff, but I've got a major issue with us and contracts. Not with these people, just contracts in general. So can you put that on next week's agenda for me?
Thank you. Okay. Claims.
We have claims that are amount to 221, 895 period 49. $221,895.49. And I make a motion, we approve the claims.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the claims. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. New business supervisor reports.
You want me to go now?
Yeah.
Hey, cool.
Go ahead, Dave.
Okay.
He wants to go anywhere.
I got a lot of stuff to get fixed. So
Good thing.
I'm running into issues with the Arion switchover, withdrawing from Windstream. There's been some payments because we have to make because people entered into contracts, long-term contracts. I already mentioned it, the public health, Stacy entered into a long-term contract. They were going to take care of their fax machine and had everything to do with, or not everything, but almost everything to do with, Medicare applications and so forth. Well, now that they're not going to be able to do Medicare stuff, they don't need this contract. We've only had it for less than 3 months, I think it is. And we just got the W-9 filed last week from them,
I have.
somewhere in there. But we've got to pay, when I say we, I told the board, I said, it's not coming out of my account money, it's gonna have to come out of the public health money for $30,000 to end the contract. My concern is we have major contracts being let and they're not coming through the board. And I think that we need to go down that path where they need to come to the board, signed by the chair before so they gotta be reviewed by our attorney, come to the board, be signed by the chair before they're let. Because we've got a lot of money that's going out and we don't get the use of it.
We could use that 30,000 somewhere else.
Absolutely.
Has Brent looked at it to make sure there's no loopholes
That's a lot.
because.
I just heard about it on Friday.
Yeah.
So,
It'd be good for them to run it
yeah,
by him
absolutely,
or the risk pool lawyers, just to make sure like there's nothing we can do to
right.
get out of it.
I mean, it's only 3 months old. I would think there'd be something we
And it's an unforeseen, it's like Medicare's going away. It's not just like, we're gonna use someone else, you know?
So I'm bringing that up because we've got contracts and I don't know if we want to go down the path of any contract over $500 or $1,000 or I don't. That's something I think we need to talk through code wise.
Policy or something.
Yeah, there's a guy, but I believe code wise, something has to be done. A certain amount has to be done through the board. But we can't have people letting contracts. And then we come to find out, oh, we don't need it anymore. Well, to get out. I mean, I brought it up before. A contract that we had, it's not in effect anymore, but it literally said in the contract, this contract cannot be canceled. And somebody, previous folks, signed it. We can't do these kinds of things. It's, I mean, we're supposed to be good shepherds of the money, and that hasn't been going on in the past, so.
And everything has to go through legal counsel, like any contract should not be signed without a legal, Brent looking at it or Geneva or somebody. Cause that's their job to help protect
Yeah.
the county from that.
Yeah.
Yep, and it's hard, some of these are other boards, so it's like, yeah, can we do a policy, and I guess we need to figure that out if that's
Well,
something. that
we're
we
the
can
approvers of
control.
money.
Yeah, I think that's where our sticking point is, because once the money's out the door, they can use it however they want.
Right.
And maybe they're using some of their grant money to pay for, we don't know where it's in their budget. That's why they're the overseers of it, but it's important that we see whatever those contracts are when they're during their budget time,
Right.
This is a 3-month contract, 3-month-old contract, and we had already given them kind of, I mean, did we not just go through something?
Yeah, pretty sure.
Budget there.
Mhm.
It's, that's misfortune.
But even if it's not us approving, maybe it could be a policy that if you have, if you're signing any contract over, $1,500 or that you run it by legal counsel, or bring it up budget time during.
Yeah, that's just a good idea.
I mean,
It should be, but if you need to put it on paper, then
Really.
put it on paper, but
No, I don't believe, it's common sense. But
If you think that way.
Yeah, but I believe in the past, that has not been the case.
I shouldn't say common sense, common knowledge.
Yeah.
Yeah, sounds better.
30,000 is just insane though, like.
That's it, well, that's. Like I said, we can use that somewhere else.
Take some time.
We could use it for a couple tires or something. Yeah.
And some tires are pretty expensive, aren't they?
Diesel fuel,
Get a couple gallons of gas.
all diesel fuel, there we go.
Anyhow,
So I guess I'm done with that issue. I just wanted to bring it to the board's attention that we have contracts out there that are costing us money and we don't get to use the item.
any other committees or,
Not that I'm aware of right now, I don't care.
That's all you got for today.
We got a walk-up meeting this Friday. But like I said, I've been negotiating with the copy of the people. And I think I have a really good presentation on mine. I hope to have had this done last week, but you and I are gonna talk today.
you think anybody else has to bring up? Okay, go back to public comments again, anybody from the public?
Yep.
Karen?
Did she say, Berlin, did she say, June 14th for that date?
Yeah.
And then, I'm gonna use the word confidence, Kurt, thank you for your common sense response on that county home farm, tiling, flood tiles, et cetera, et cetera. You have the information. I'm glad that you're educating people. It's normal common stuff. It's hugely expensive to start putting improvements on a farm and you may not get that back. So that's just a crapshoot as to whether or not somebody's gonna pay. I shouldn't have said that, right? If somebody's gonna pay more rent just because it's got a line of tile in it,
Yep.
we don't know that. And then, cause it still comes down to affordability. And then, don't forget about the forum tomorrow night. May 19th at 6 p.m. at the Tama Civic Center for the 4 candidates for treasurer, Joanne Harden, Kathy Holtz, Ashley Boland, and Amanda Kriegel. Tomorrow night. Tomorrow night.
What time is it?
It's at 6 o'clock.
6, okay.
Yeah, and it's a forum. And, yeah. It'll be really interesting. I think that's all I have.
Ask Karen if she's gonna go. Probably ought to be there just in case.
You have it on the board that we might have, well, we'll probably have more than,
Okay.
just post it up there that we might all be there, obviously not hanging out, but there, cause you two are officiating it, right? Like leading it? Questions?
Yeah,
I probably
we got
would,
stuck with being.
That's why I brought it up, just in case these two forgot, you know.
Yep.
I knew you didn't wanna do it, Heather.
I'm just figuring today out. He wasn't looking at. And I'm glad you said 6, I was thinking it was maybe later, so 6, okay.
And there's gonna be cookies there, if that makes anybody more.
I wasn't going, but now I am.
There you go.
Tell Gwen. that
20
there's
years
gonna be
ago, it had
cookies
been
there.
something else to get me here.
Tell Gwen cookies, hit.
Yeah, that doesn't really get her that excited, it's like me.
I make that motion.
Okay, I could. All those in favor say aye. Didn't make an hour, 9:34.